It was a Tuesday morning when Frank DeLucci finally decided to face the music. Frank, a retiree from Poughkeepsie whose primary daily challenges involved remembering where he left his remote and defeating the new, improved security menu on his cable box, had just opened his bank statement. A flicker of movement caught his eye, a small, shaky tremor in his own hand. Then he saw it. A $1,200 charge for something called Neo Tokyo Cyber Gear. Frank hadn't bought so much as a new set of gardening shears in 6 months. His heart, which was used to a gentle, reliable rhythm like a well-maintained washer, began to pound a frantic, unfamiliar beat. His mind went blank, then filled with a single, terrifying thought. Well, that's it. I've finally been digitized. They say fraud has evolved from simple cons to a complex digital beast. Frank would have been happier with a simple con, someone selling him a piece of the Brooklyn Bridge he could at least admire for its audacity. But this was invisible, a violation he couldn't see or smell. The fear wasn't of someone breaking into his house, it was of someone breaking into him, into the little electronic life he never asked for, but was now forced to maintain. His stomach sank with that special, cold dread reserved for lost wallets and suspicious phone calls from Microsoft Security. Across town, in a cramped apartment that smelled of instant coffee and regret, a man known to his few associates as Marty the Mosaic was having a very different kind of morning. Marty was a small-time identity thief. He didn't do big scores, no multi-million-dollar Ponzi schemes, no hacking of diamond center vaults. He was a grifter of the digital age, a bottom feeder in the vast ocean of leaked data that began with the AOL breach of 2004 and never really stopped. His specialty was the soft target, people whose digital footprints were a little dusty, whose passwords might still be a beloved pet's name followed by 123. Frank DeLucci had been, in Marty's professional opinion, a perfect mark. His information was part of a cheap bulk data package Marty had bought online, the Silver Surfers Special, it was called. Frank's credit was good, his accounts were steady, and his online activity was practically nil. To Marty, Frank was a name, a social security number, a date of birth, and a string of digits that led to a modest bank account, a clean, quiet score. That is, until Marty started the deep dive. Standard procedure. You don't just drain an account, you build a profile. You become the person, just for a little while. You learn their habits to avoid tripping alarms. So Marty went digging. He found Frank's dormant social media. He found the Flickr account. Flickr? Marty hadn't seen one of those in years. And there, in a dusty digital album titled The Old Days, Scans, he found it. The photo. It was dated July 1989, a backyard barbecue, a man in his late 30s beaming with joy so pure it was almost painful to look at. He had one arm around a woman with perfectly coiffed, voluminous hair, the kind that required a full can of Aquanet and a promise to the gods of glamour. And his own hair, oh, his hair. It was a masterpiece of 1980s follicular architecture. We're talking a mullet of epic proportions, business in the front, a party so wild in the back it needed its own security detail. It wasn't just big, it had plans, it had aspirations, it defied gravity, geometry, and likely several local ordinances. It was, in a word, spectacular. Marty the Mosaic, a man who had seen thousands of faces as anonymous data points, stared. He zoomed in. The haircut was a glorious, sun-bleached, permed abomination. The man's mustache was full and proud. His shirt was open one button too many, revealing a gold chain resting on a carpet of chest hair. He was holding a can of Schlitz and laughing at something just beyond the frame. And something broke inside Marty. A dam of cynicism he didn't know he had. This wasn't Frank DeLucci, account number 48392 anymore. This was Frank, a guy who probably listened to Phil Collins on a cassette deck in his Pontiac Fiero, a guy who had survived the embarrassment of parachute pants and lived to tell the tale. A guy whose biggest worry in 1989 was whether his lawnmower would start, not whether his identity had been cloned by some schmuck in a basement. Marty looked from the photo to the bank transfer screen he had open. The cursor blinked over the Execute Transfer button. He imagined that Frank, with his magnificent bygone mullet, getting a fraud alert. The confusion, the panic, the hours on the phone with banks, a special kind of modern torture that could cause real emotional distress. He imagined Frank feeling that cold, sharp fear that changes how you see the world, all so Marty could buy, what, a new graphics card? It suddenly felt so pathetic, so small. This is the story of what happened next. It's not a story about a high-tech diamond heist with seismic sensors and laser grids. It's a quieter story, a story about a bad haircut from 1989, a flicker of conscience in the digital gloom, and the deeply relatable everyday frustrations of modern life that bind us all together, victims and former villains alike. Scene start. Sound of a landline phone ringing, loud and jarring. Frank, VO, tired, weary. Hello? Marty, VO, nervous, muffled. Is this Frank DeLucci? Frank, who's asking? If this is about my car's extended warranty, I don't have a car. I take the bus, the noisy one. No, it's not that. It's about your bank account and your hair in 1989. Frank, long pause, a sigh that carries the weight of decades. All right, which one of you jokers from the VFW got my number? Is this Donnie? I told you the perm was a mistake, a glorious, glorious mistake. The woman at the salon said it would give me body. She did not specify it would give me enough body for 3 people. Flashback sound. Faint sounds of a 1980s barbecue, Huey Lewis and the News playing distantly, laughter. And just like that, Frank was back there, the smell of charcoal and off bug spray, the feel of that mustache catching a drop of beer, the immense, almost spiritual confidence bestowed upon him by that haircut. He was a king of his own backyard. He could fix a carburetor. He understood the plot of Blade Runner. Life was analog, and it was good. Marty, VO, cutting through the memory. It was a mullet, Mr. DeLucci, a work of art. I've seen a lot of things in my line of work, but that had conviction. Frank, suspicion creeping back in. My line of work. What exactly is your line of work, Mr. Marty? You can call me Marty, and let's just say I'm in information relocation. And I'm calling to tell you I'm relocating it all back, every bit. I've already canceled the Neo Tokyo order. Sound of Frank fumbling, propping the phone. It clatters. The Neo Tokyo, how did you? My statement just came. I know, I'm sorry. Look, I was going to do it. I had the transfer ready. Then I saw the picture. You, the magnificent hair, the lady with the big hair, the Schlitz. You looked so happy. You didn't look like a data point. You looked like a guy. And here was the core of Frank's modern frustration, shared by millions. He felt like a data point, a number in a system that seemed designed to confuse him, a target for every scam, from fake tech support to bogus inheritance claims. His identity, his life story, had been reduced to a series of passwords and security questions, asking him for his first pet's name, Rex, and his mother's maiden name, O'Malley. And now a thief was telling him he was too human to rob? It was the most bizarre compliment he'd ever received. Frank, gathering himself, a touch of old defiance in his voice. So what now, Marty? You expect a thank you? A fruit basket? You want me to send you a lock of the hair? I think my wife still has some in a Ziploc bag somewhere. For sentimental reasons. Marty, a weak chuckle. No fruit basket. I'm sending you an email with instructions. how to change everything, passwords, security pins, the works, stuff you probably haven't updated since you got AOL, and a link to a good credit monitoring service. It's the least I can do. Frank, an email from an identity thief telling me how to be secure? This is the strangest day since I tried to use the self-checkout at the grocery store, and it accused me of unexpected item in the bagging area for 5 minutes straight. I was holding my own hat. What followed was the most surreal afternoon of Frank DeLucci's life. He received the email from a scrambled address. It was, ironically, the clearest, most step-by-step guide to personal cybersecurity he'd ever seen. It was written with the patient, detailed air of someone explaining how to program a VCR to a very tired person. Marty walked him through enabling two-factor authentication. It's like a second lock on your door, Frank, but the key is a number that changes every minute. Checking his credit reports, think of it as your financial report card, but the teachers are machines. And creating strong passwords. No, password 123 does not count, and neither does Rex 123. Sound of keyboard clacking, Frank muttering to himself. Passphrase, like a sentence. My mullet was better than yours 1989. All caps, one lowercase, a number, a symbol. Take that, you digital hooligans. As he worked, a strange camaraderie built in his mind, not with Marty, the criminal, but with the ghost of 1989 Marty had inadvertently summoned, that younger Frank, the Frank who wasn't afraid of phishing emails because the only phishing he knew involved a rod and a pond, the Frank who bought a newfangled CD player on layaway and felt like a spaceman. He missed that guy with the bad hair and the simple problems. Frank, into the phone which he'd propped on his shoulder. You still there, Marty? Marty, VO. Yeah, I'm here. You get the authentication app working? I did. It made my phone buzz like an angry hornet. Now answer me this. Why? Really, a guy with your skills, you could have taken the money and been gone. Why the change of heart over a lousy 35-year-old photograph? Sound of Marty sighing deeply. You ever feel like the world got too complicated, Frank? Like you're just floating in a sea of noise? Names, numbers, accounts, ads, scams, it's all just data. It's easy to forget it's attached to people, real people who had bad perms and good times. You were a time capsule, a snapshot of a time when people weren't just profiles to be hacked. I stole your data, but your picture, it stole my nerve. I guess I just wanted to put one thing back where it belonged. Frank understood. Oh, how he understood. The world had gotten too complicated. It moved too fast. The fear of these invisible crimes, the frauds, the scams, the identity theft, was a constant low-grade anxiety for him and his peers. It wasn't just about the money, though for many older adults on fixed incomes, a loss could be devastating. It was about the violation, the helplessness, the hours spent untangling a mess you didn't make. Marty, in his own twisted way, had offered a thread to start untangling it. Frank, his voice softer now. You know, my grandson tried to explain identity theft to me once. He said it was like someone making a puppet of you and making it dance. I told him that sounded like a horror movie. He said, yeah, Grandpa, it kind of is. Marty, the kid's not wrong. Frank, so what happens to you now, Marty? You going straight? Gonna use your powers for good? Become a, what do they call it, an ethical hacker? Marty, a dry laugh. I think my resume might be a problem. No, I think I'm done. This isn't a life. It's just more noise. Maybe I'll get a job at a library, something quiet with books. Books don't have two-factor authentication. They talked a little longer, not as criminal and victim, but as two men adrift in the same confusing century. Frank told Marty about the Fiero and how it died heroically on the way to a Styx concert. Marty, cautiously, shared a little of his own rootless life. It was a connection as fragile and unlikely as a phone call. Before they hung up, Frank had one last question. The hair, Marty, be honest, on a scale of Joe Dirt to early 80s David Bowie, where did I land? Marty, without hesitation, "Sir, you were in a league of your own. You were a Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse who got struck by lightning and liked it. It was fearless." Frank DeLucci smiled for the first time that day, a real, genuine smile that reached his eyes. "You know what? Keep the $20 you didn't take. Consider it a consulting fee for the tech support and the art criticism." Music begins to swell, warm and nostalgic. The call ended. Frank spent the rest of the afternoon securing his digital life, feeling a strange sense of accomplishment. He even dug out the old photo album. There he was, frozen in 1989, blissfully unaware of the digital world to come. He showed the picture to his wife that evening. Frank to his wife, "Remember this. Wife, how could I forget? I lost 2 good hairbrushes to that style. You looked like a handsome muskrat." Frank, "A muskrat with a heart of gold, apparently, and a surprisingly secure password." And as for Marty, he closed his laptop, for good. He packed a bag. He didn't know where he was going, but for the first time in a long time, he wanted to go somewhere he could see people's faces, not just their data. He owed that, at least, to the ghost of a magnificent mullet. Music reaches a gentle peak, then begins to fade. Narrator: "So this isn't a tale of catching a master criminal. The police were never involved. Frank filed no report. In the grand multi-billion-dollar history of fraud, this incident wouldn't even register as a blip. But it's a story about something else. It's about the small, human moments that can short-circuit even the most cynical of systems. It's about how our past selves, with all their goofy haircuts, questionable fashion, and uncynical joy, still have power, the power to remind us who we are beneath all the data. It's about the fact that in an age of advanced fee scams, romance frauds, and phishing emails, sometimes the best defense isn't just a stronger firewall. Sometimes it's a well-timed dose of humility, a spark of empathy, and the enduring, laughable, glorious evidence of a past we thought we'd left behind, like a photograph from 1989 that was just too darn happy to be stolen. Stay safe out there. Update your passwords, check your statements, and maybe, just maybe, be a little kinder to the old photos of yourself. You never know who might be looking or what good they might inspire.